I'm Valerie,
And I'm Taylor.
and welcome to
Whimsy Gossip,
where we talk all things fantasy.
and our favorite ways to escape reality
Today's episode,
is whimsy thoughts and predictions on Fourth Wing. I know we already did one Fourth Wing episode, and it was just like, I feel like chaotic because we were both just done Fourth Wing and we were dying to record anything about it. And we were
yeah,
just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, like every 2 seconds, like it could not get enough out there.
I
And
think
I
it's our
think
longest
now that
episode too.
we talked so much. I mean, we literally said in that episode, I'm pretty sure we were like, okay, we can make a whole other episode on this
We
because this is getting really long.
we barely scratched the surface.
Barely. So, having time to digest, process, reread the books, I have been compiling a list for a little bit now that I've read the books a couple times. And I'll be honest, Rebecca Yaros, you are really interrupting my sleep schedule because I am having dreams about Basgiath and these
Yeah.
characters, and I am waking up in the dead of sleep, like with these ideas that like plague my brain. And I'm just sitting here like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to go back to sleep now? Because now I have to like let this theory roam in my brain rent
Oh
free.
my
And then
god.
I'm just sitting there. So,
Peep our
anyway,
shirts, peep our shirts.
oh yeah, I have my shirt. It says Riders Quadrant. I have a couple Fourth Wing shirts, but I thought Riders Quadrant was rather fitting.
I am Beth Gaius War College. I'm clearly enrolled there. I'm a student. Yeah, they saw our episode and they were like, hired.
Join. I mean, in reality, I'm a fraud because I am not in the Riders Quadrant
No, we
whatsoever.
are scribes, but after
I'm a
the things we're going to
healer.
talk
I
about,
am
oh yeah, well, sorry, I'm a scribe, you're a
I'm a
healer.
healer for
After what
sure.
we've kind of discussed a little bit before this episode, I don't know if I want to be a scribe so much anymore, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that in our theories. So,
Mhm. Where do we
all
even
right, this
begin?
episode, I know. So,
Liam's coming back to
this is
life.
not I don't think so. Not to break it to you, Valerie.
I don't know. Okay,
Side
okay.
note, this is not going to be a spoiler-free episode. This episode is not spoiler-free for Fourth Wing. If you have not read Fourth Wing, please pause the video. Read Fourth Wing. I know it's really hard to get a copy right now. Ebook this thing, audiobook it. I'm starting to see some people are getting copies that are not first edition copies, that
Yep.
are just normal copies of Fourth Wing. It's starting to be out in the wild. Hopefully, people are going to be able to get their hands on it sooner than later.
Yeah, yeah.
But after you read Fourth Wing, come back and then watch this episode. Watch our first episode and then watch this episode
Yes, yes.
on Fourth Wing. So, anyway, to talk about Liam for 2 seconds, because I didn't want to talk about Liam before I gave the spoiler thing.
Love of my life. Love
All
of
of
my
you
life.
people out there putting and creating Liam fan art, I am sending you my therapy bill because I cry every single time I see this Liam fan art. I am just like, the ugh. The
The
ones
what?
with him and Day, and the ones where Zayden is like holding him and carrying him, and like him and Violet.
That one.
And
That's the
then
one
you
I was gonna say. That's the one.
all put that stinking sound to it. That's like the voiceover audio. And then she's like, thank you for being my friend. And she's like, thank you for being my protector. Thank you for being my friend. And he's like, it's been my honor. And I'm like, oh, crying again.
My brother. Like I just can't deal with it. And I think for me, like I was
Oh,
just talking about this with my friend Dom, and I was just like, just that scene where it's not only he's dying, but his dragon dies,
oh my gosh,
and
he's
he's just
crying
when he's
out
just
for her.
crying out for her, and and knowing that they're both gonna die together, it's a Greek, no, it's Shakespearean tragedy. It's just horrible, and just the fact that he didn't even
Mm.
like die because of his own injuries. No, his dragon died, and like that is just so sad. Why would you do that, Rebecca? Okay, okay, I need to
Okay.
recoup.
Take a breather, take a breather, take a breather, and then we're going to come back.
Okay, let's move on. What
Let's
are you
move
gonna say
on.
about Liam?
Because we get emotional. Liam invokes a lot of emotion in us on this podcast. Okay, so
I don't like
starting
it.
out with theories. If you watched our last episode, you would know that we have a theory on Violet's mom,
Mm-hmm.
and we do not think she is as evil as everyone thinks she is.
Yep.
So, our theory is that Violet's mom is not as bad as everyone likes to think she is, and that, yes, that was our first theory. We posted a video on TikTok. That is probably our most commented on, like, I guess, video.
Debated.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So many people either agree with us, don't agree with us, about because I spoke about actually no, I think it's our Andarna video. Our what's gonna
Mm.
happen with Andarna. It's your blind like your reaction video
Oh,
to
yeah. That was amazing.
like
I didn't even realize I made those faces, and then you sent
no,
me
it was
that
so
edit, and I
funny.
was
It
just
was
like, "Oh,
amazing.
wow." I was
You
like
were very expression,
I
like
was like,
had a lot of expression going on then. Um, but anyway, to talk about Andarna,
Mhm.
starting on our theories.
Yeah.
So Violet has two dragons now. This is awesome.
Yeah,
She's always had two dragons, but
unprecedented.
Violet has two dragons. So like full size dragons, because now we know at the end of book two, or the end of book one, in Zayden's point of view, Zayden talks about how Andarna's really big now.
Yeah, which is weird, right?
Crazy.
It's
So
only
we
been
now
a couple
know.
days.
I don't know how long the time frame
It
has
was a
really
couple
been,
days.
but like, was it a couple days?
Uh-huh.
Okay. We don't know how long the time frame. I guess it's only been a couple days, but a couple days can be 3 days. It can be 7 days.
No, I think it was like
But
3
I'm
days.
3 days. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, but now Andarna's big, and
Yeah.
now Andarna's a grown dragon, which means
Mhm. New powers.
new powers. What powers or what is Violet's second signet going to be? Is
Okay.
she going to get a second signet? Do you think she's going to get a second signet? Let's start that out. Do you think she's going to get a
Yes,
second signet from Andarna? You do?
I do.
Yeah, I think so
I
too.
definitely do. And so
Okay.
here's my thing. In the last episode, I talked about the fact that I was waiting the whole entire time for her signet to be a skull and to be bringing, being able to resurrect from the dead.
Mm,
And I'm still holding on to that because, to be honest with you, because I went into it with that mindset that that was going to be her signet, I feel like there's just a lot of like little things. And there was one particular Easter egg, and it is connected to Brennan, where the
okay.
professor says that, what was his name? The guy who saved Brennan?
Nolan? No,
Nolan.
Nolan.
Nolan. How Nolan, he tried to resurrect Brennan and died. And the professor said, because there are no signets for resurrection. And I felt like that was important. And so I think that even though it sucks that it didn't appear to save Liam, it still could to save him. I don't know how that works. We'll see. But the magic and all this, maybe Liam can still come back to life. However, I think her new signet could be resurrection.
That would
And
be
that could
really
come in
epic.
very useful for the crazy shit that's about to pop off.
What do you
But
think is because
it's obviously going to be limited too. Like, she's not going to be able to just resurrect everybody. It's going to be limited, and it's going to take a huge toll on her. But I think that'd be super cool to like be her signet. But
what if
that's my
Andarna's
theory.
signet or Andarna's magic was like able to stop time? So what if she could stop dying, like stop a wound from like being fatal
Yeah, or
and kind of
reverse time.
yeah, reverse a wound. I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think the time thing has to be significant. Stopping
because
time allowed, her to survive many times, save lives, whatever. So I
mhm.
think, I don't know, there's something there. Like, it might be a skull signet. I don't know.
So if you look at the cover of Iron Flame, because this is being filmed a couple of days after the cover release, if you the second book, oh my gosh, one, it says burn it down.
Mhm.
Are we burning down Basgiath? Are we burning down the traitors? What are we burning down? Anyway, with the cover and the cover art, it reminds me of some like ancient sun clock.
Uh-huh.
I don't know
Okay.
why.
Okay.
And that's why I'm wondering if Andarna's signet is, or Violet's signet she gets from Andarna is going to have something to do with time as well. If it's going to be reversing time, or this is going to kind of like get into,
Mm.
how do I say this? My next a couple theories down that I
You're
don't want to spoil that I
mixing
didn't
them.
tell you about. Yeah.
So be
Just remind
careful. Do
me.
you want to wait?
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to talk about that. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So
Well, that's my
Andarna.
prediction for the signet.
So Andarna is now a full-grown dragon. I don't think anywhere it tells us what kind of dragon she is. We just know she is a feather tail,
Yep.
right?
She's gold.
What? She's a gold feather tail. What kind of dragon do you think she is? Do you think she's going to be a club tail, a scorpion tail, a dagger tail, a sword tail, or a morning star tail?
She's going to be whatever tail she needs to be to bring Lamb back to life. Your turn.
Okay. I'm thinking she's going to be a sword tail. That's my prediction is a sword tail. Only because I looked at the cover art and the little gold dragon in the middle, that tail looks awful pointy, kind of like a sword.
Yeah.
So I think she's going to be a sword tail. That's my prediction for her.
I think that checks. That definitely checks for sure.
That would be my prediction. Color wise, I don't know because
Do
we
they
only
change
know Andarna.
colors?
Yeah, she wouldn't be gold anymore. I
Really?
think
Oh,
she's a
that sucks.
baby. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Are there
There's
gold
no other like
dragons?
gold dragons. There's like yellow dragons. I'm like
Mm.
orange. There's red. There's blue, black.
It'd be
But
cool if she
I
stayed
green.
gold, and that's why she's special. She's a rare feathertail, special gold dragon. She stays gold, and that's what allows her to resurrect.
Maybe that could be a thing. But I we only know Andarna's attitude as like a little sassy thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
know Sigale is blue, Taryn is black. So I know they're not going to make her a black or a blue dragon just because
No.
color wise it wouldn't match. So she's either going to be green or yellow or green or orange or red. And I just think maybe orange because she was gold.
Okay. I'm
But
holding on hope
personality
that she stays
wise,
gold because I think it's cool,
I mean, yeah, it would be cool.
and I love gold.
Same. You know, gold's our color.
It is.
I'm just trying to think. Yeah, and Andarna's kind of sassy.
She is.
She's kind of sassy. And the two orange dragons, um not at threshing but the one before where they did like that walkthrough and they got to like walk,
Mm-hmm.
they were the two that came over and they smelled Mira's dragon and they were like kind of
Mm.
Violet knew she had to be like, okay, gotta be careful, these guys are kind of like, and they're like, oh, you smell
Yeah.
like, Mira's
Yeah.
dragon, Mira's my sister.
Yeah.
So
I don't
I
know. I
think
don't
maybe
know.
orange.
This is going to be fun to find out what color she is and everything
These
like
are the
that.
little things, the
They are
little
the little things. They're
theories,
the little details.
the little details. I'm just
But with
curious.
the cover, burn it down. Can I tell you what I think about that?
Okay, let me hear it.
Okay. So when I saw the cover, I was just like, "Oh my god." And obviously I have like 7 million copies pre-ordered already because I
Did you
need
do the
this
Barnes
book.
and Noble one? Because the Barnes and Noble, there's a giveaway with it too.
No.
Yeah. Okay. I'll
All
send
right,
that
I
to you
only did it on
afterwards.
Amazon, so I will go do that after we get done with this.
Yeah.
However, burn it down. I think that has many different meanings. I think it
Mm-hmm.
has meaning in what my mind initially went to was burn down Basgiath, the structures, the government, the corruption, the
Yeah.
cover-ups, like literally expose them for what they are, what they've been hiding about the wyvern, and literally like I don't know who, but I mean Zayden, Violet, whoever, the rebellion, Brennan, all that, they actually burn it to the ground. And obviously because everyone has dragons, they can actually literally burn things. But I think it's also
Mm-hmm.
not only a physical, but like a structural burning it down as well, like from within, burn it
Yes.
all down, all of these old structures, old um, rules and things, and basically, yeah, exposing all of the lies. I just
Well, we
love
know
this
that
story.
like
My God,
when you burn something down to the ground and like down to nothing, that's where you have regrowth. That's why like
rebirth, yeah,
naturally in like fires and forest fires aren't always the worst thing in the world
right,
because that's what like allows regrowth, rebirth, all that kind of stuff. Massive ones, yes, they're bad, but
yeah.
without
But even like,
human.
yeah, in Australia, like I was even talking to my friend, and like he's from Australia, and he's just like, yeah, like that's
Controlled
what
fires
even
are
what
a thing.
happened there is like it's there's plants in Australia that will only like exist if they get burned. Like burning is
Hmm.
how they bloom, how they prosper. So yeah, it's like definitely.
Burn it down. I agree. I think it's going to be burning it down and starting anew. Um, if for those of you who didn't watch, Rebecca Yaros, the author of Fourth Wing, posted on her I think her TikTok and her Instagram for the cover reveal for Iron Flame. She posted a flying creature that looks like a dragon, but it is a wyvern, and she confirms it in the comments. Um, Landing and burning the screen, and then thus giving us Iron Flame. Do you think that is a subtle message? Because someone in the comments said, "Wait, that's a wyvern," and she goes, "Oh, why, yes, it is."
Oh my God. Yeah, that is crazy, dude. Like, so obviously things are gonna heat up from the outside with the wyvern and all of that. It's gonna heat up. But I guess, yeah, are they gonna be able to break through the barriers and get inside somehow? Is somebody going to purposely open the barrier and let them in?
I think so.
Who?
Do you think Violet's going to go back to Basgiath because she promised Liam that she would take care of his little sister Sloane when she comes through next year?
That's a great question. I think she has to go back. I think she
You think
has to
she's going
go
to go
back. I
back?
think she's going to go back and it's going to be obviously a completely different perspective. She's going to be going back to burn to the ground.
I wonder if she's going to go back and pull a Feyre in the spring court and be like, "No, no,
Yes.
I am Team Basgiath. Screw Zayden."
100%. She's 100% going to be fair in the spring court. Absolutely
Yeah,
she is.
but a likable
She
version.
No, she's absolutely going to be a more likable version than Farah in the spring court because this isn't just about one person and this isn't just about
No,
like an innocent people. Like this is about tearing down the structures from within and exposing the corruption, which I think is what's going to happen. And we're going to see, we're going to find out fairly quickly, I think, if Brennan wants Violet to know the whole truth about
or
her
bits
mom.
and pieces.
What do you
Yeah,
think? Do you think Brennan's going to withhold information still
no,
from Violet?
mm-mm.
Not at this point.
No, no, no,
Is
no.
Violet going to tell Mira?
Uh, I think Violet and Brennan will tag team together and shock the crap out of Mira and be like, "Oh my gosh, my brother is alive." Unless you think Mira knows Brennan's alive.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think she knows either. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
she
she
knows.
knows.
Okay, I do. I had a dream about this. And then I saw
You
a
were thinking about Fourth
similar
Wing way too
theory
much,
on I know.
or
And then I
just to
saw a
write them out.
similar theory on TikTok. But I had a dream about this theory. So I think since Brennan has been dead, or even prior to that, because I'm not opposed to the idea of him working with his dad for like the rebels for so long. um, I think Brennan and Zayden have known each other for a very long time. Very long time. And I think they have a really good relationship. And I think that Brennan is kind of like an older brother figure to Zayden or a friend. And I'm sure growing up and or just the times that Zayden has known Brennan, I'm sure Brennan has talked so much about his little sisters Mira and Violet.
Yeah.
And I think after hearing him talk about Violet for so many years, um, I think that Zayden ended up like kind of like really loving the idea of Violet. Like Brennan would always talk about, "Oh yeah, my little sister Violet though. My little sister Violet though." You know what I mean? And would always like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, but Violet's this, Violet's that." And I think Zayden, before knowing who Violet was, just had this idea of
Idea
this
of
like
her,
Violet.
but
And
also knew that she was going to struggle
Well, no, I think this is before he even knew who Violet, like, never
No, but
met
I
her on the
think Brennan
parapet.
would have told Zayden, my mom is probably going to force Violet into the writer's quadrant, and like
Mm.
my sister is very weak. And I'm
Yeah,
sure
he
Zayden, so Zayden knew when he saw her and met her for the first time, I'm sure he already knew that like she needs some
help.
sort of like my support from even
Yeah,
afar,
absolutely. Um,
like
but I think
Rhysand.
that's why Zayden says to her, "I have been yours longer than like you can ever imagine, or longer than you've known." And I'm like, because whether like yours as in like romantically, but he might have just been, I've been yours, like on your side for you longer than you know, kind of thing
Yep.
because of Brennan. Because he also makes a comment about when Brennan is like knocking on that door so dang hard. And he's just like, pounding down this door. And Zeta makes a comment like, "Oh my gosh, this guy," as if like he already knows so much about this guy. Like,
He does,
this guy
yeah.
is just so impatient. You have like 3 seconds kind of
Yeah.
attitude.
Yeah.
So he knows Brennan very well at this
Yeah.
point. So they have to have been friends and something. So I think we're going to find out a bit more about Brennan and Zayden's relationship, which I think is going to be kind of cool. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think so too. And I think the whole situation surrounding Brennan's death is also really interesting. And I really haven't pieced it all together yet and like figured out exactly what happened. I'm like, but now that Zayden and Brennan are cool, um, did Zayden's father actually kill Brennan? Did he not kill Brennan because they were already working together? Was it a huge
Yeah.
cover up? Why did Nolan die?
Do
But
you want
yeah,
to start
were
that
they
little theater?
friends? Were they even lovers? I mean, I don't know. And yeah, was Brennan really supposed to die and then did get brought back to life? Or did he not even get killed at
So,
all?
okay. Was Brennan really killed? Did Nolan, Taryn's old rider, sacrifice his life really to bring back Brennan? Or you just sparked a that was a theory I had written down.
Oh,
Or was Nolan on the government side of things and and Taryn knew Nolan, what you're doing is wrong? What if? So with Nolan's signet being siphoning, Brennan is dying, correct?
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
We know that Venom, they become Venom by siphoning their powers and sucking powers from other sources, right?
Yeah.
As Valerie cradles her fourth wing book. Um, so we know that they get their power by like siphoning, and that's what the Venom do. They literally suck the life out of things and suck the power out of other things, and that's what was Nolan's signet was siphoning. Hear me out, right?
Yeah.
So all these things are piecing together as we're talking.
Yeah.
Brennan did die.
Okay.
Because I had on here, was Brennan really killed? Did Nolan, Taryn's old rider, sacrifice his life by siphoning from a darker source, thus able to bring Brennan back to life? But in return, he turned into a Venom. So Taryn was no longer his rider, or Taryn was no longer his dragon. He was no longer Taryn's rider, whatever that was, because he wasn't like alive-ish anymore. He was now Venom.
He sold his soul.
He sold his soul. The bond
Mm.
was broken, so he did the right thing. He saved Brennan, which in turn would probably make Brennan switch sides. Like, I have to join this revolution. Taryn sees
Yeah.
everything, knows everything, and now has to be like, okay, like I got a bond with Violet. This is like his calling. He's calling, feeling called. Because it said originally Taryn wasn't going to bond.
Right. He
There was
didn't
another
have
black
any
dragon, but he
interest.
was not ready to bond. He probably, heard
Yeah.
of this rider, felt the connection, yada, yada, yada.
That's a great theory though that yeah,
right?
that's because I always was wondering too, like why did Brennan in the first place join them? That would
Mhm.
give him a reason. And then
'Cause
his
they were
mom
fighting
helped cover
the
up his death.
yes, I think his mom helped cover it up.
But
So,
also, Brennan had a dragon. Did that dragon die when he died?
no,
Or
because
what
dragons
happened
don't
to that
always die.
dragon?
I feel like when Brennan died,
Mhm.
the sorry, the bond between the dragon and him broke.
Yeah. And so now he doesn't have a dragon.
Yeah, so now he's
But no, he
resurrected.
does. He has to have a dragon because he's a healer still and he has magical powers because he healed Violet. So he has to have a bond.
He has to have a dragon or well, we don't really know anything about Brennan's dragon, so maybe he
We
still has a
don't.
dragon.
Yeah, he has to because he has to have the powers channeling through
Yeah.
because he healed Violet. So that
Okay.
makes me feel like he didn't die.
Yeah, he probably didn't. And then I'm telling you, he
But
died
what
and then got
happened to
brought back to
Taryn's
life.
writer?
No, Nolan, I'm telling you, he sacrificed his life for Brennan.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And then now he's a Venin. Speaking of Venin, you know how Violet has like this lack of general color? We know there's a lack of color in her hair. We know she describes her eyes as a lack of color,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
dull lack of
Yeah.
color in her eyes.
Ooh.
And then her mom says this came from a sickness when she was pregnant. And I knew the sickness took everything out of you. What do venin do? They siphon and they drain. I think that when Violet's mom was pregnant with Violet, that she was attacked by the venin. That same poison that Violet has in her body now, that has that nasty black scar that they're saying that now is a silver scar that was going up her. I think
Ah.
something happened while her mom was pregnant. Some kind of issue with the venin. That's why her mom also has that
Oh.
dagger. That's why she has those special venin killing daggers because she knows they exist. So I think that's why she has that. And it was probably there's a dagger that holds a lot of sentimental value. Like this is the dagger I used to kill the one that, while she was pregnant with Violet, which is why Violet has such a lack of color and a lack of all these things. Knowing
Mm.
that Nolan, whose signet was siphoning, was Taryn's previous rider, Venin, Siphon. Now Violet is his rider. Her power is lightning, which is one freaking awesome.
Well, how long has it been
I
since Brennan died?
uh 2 or 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, something like that.
Okay.
I think that Violet has some sort of like venin power in her. She has something naturally in her, which is one why she probably has like EDS, which is like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is why she has the weak joints because EDS is
Yeah.
a lack of collagen in your body, which is like the things that like hold you together and make you stronger. So that's what
Yeah.
Ehlers-Danlos essentially is. So when she did have things siphoned from her, it's like almost like not to get too medical in your brain and stuff like that, but it's almost
Yeah.
like she doesn't like collagen are kind of like the helping the building blocks to keep you strong and keep things connected.
Right.
So
Right.
the venin one sucked that out of her, like sucked her strength from her, like her physical strength, um, like her collagen and stuff like that.
This
Collagen
makes
is
so
also
much
really
sense.
important for graying your hair and like coloring your hair, like I don't know, stuff like that. So like now she has the gray
Mm.
hair and like the like lack of pigment in her eyes. So like I think they siphoned and sucked some of like the life out of her and or with that venin poison essentially or the attack I think it either like while it sucked the life out of her it's going to give her something else, like it's not only just going to take from
It's
Violet,
a
it's
give and
going
take.
to give her something else. And I wonder if that's why she survived
Mm.
this venin attack. I wonder if we're going to find out later like with Andarna if she's going to also be able to siphon just like Nolan, and maybe that's why her signet wasn't siphoning. I know every time you get a dragon, the signet is dependent on the rider. It's not dependent
Yes.
on the
It's the
dragon.
chemistry between them both. Yeah.
Yes, but I have to think that the prior rider's signet was siphoning.
Hmm.
And I'm wondering if there's going to be something with Violet. where she's going to be able to siphon, where she's going to be able to, you
Hmm.
know, maybe not take from others, maybe she'll be able to give to others. And that might be her second signet, like a reverse siphoning where she's not taking their powers and taking things from other riders and dragons. She's going to be able to give.
Ooh, and that's how she's able to save people from
Yeah.
these
She's
different
able to
attacks
give
that are
and expel some
happening.
of her power to someone else.
Mm. That would be a cool ass
So,
signet.
right?
That would be cool. That's a great theory.
I don't
Wow.
know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
Does this make you so excited for book two?
I
Because this
am
makes me
so
so excited for
excited for
book
book 2.
two.
It's gonna be so fun and epic. I'm excited to see what happens with Zayden and Violet's relationship. I'm excited to see, them reveal all of like so much is going to be revealed, but also it's going to be like 5 books. So we have 4 more books to get through too. So
I know.
I don't know where this story is going to go, but the world's about to open up in a big freaking way. And I cannot freaking
I can't
wait.
wait to get to book 5 and then to be like, wow.
Wow.
Do you remember when we read book 1?
See, people too online were like, oh, you know, this is just a fluke and like it's all just going to go downhill from here and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, it's just getting started. And the fact that Rebecca wrote this in like 3 months and it's
Crazy.
this dang good, she has a natural talent
Writing, yes.
for fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
She has found her true
Her niche.
calling in fantasy writing. This is her first fantasy book and like come the frick on. Like
I know.
that for your first fantasy book and it's that dang good and
That
like
dang good.
that dang good. Yeah, I cannot freaking wait. Do you want to go into your theory about the scribes?
Oh yeah. So you know how everyone's looking at the Riders Quadrant and like General Sorengale and Millingard and all those people, and they're like, oh, like they look at the riders as evil, and they look at like infantry as the grunts.
Yeah.
They look at the healers as like, oh, they're saving people. The scribes as like these little like, oh, quiet
Dirty.
people and nerdy quiet people in the corner.
Mhm.
And then they look at the riders as like, the brutes, the mean
Yeah.
ones, the dirty ones. It's always the quiet ones you got to be careful for. Like, let's be real. Like, not really, but
A little
anyway, a
bit,
little
because
bit.
they're smarter.
They have
They're
the intelligence.
observing. They're sitting in the
Yes,
background. Yeah.
observing. Um,
Yeah.
and anyway, the scribes are evil. The scribes, like Brennan, I mean, not Brennan, yeah, Brennan and Mira and Violet's dad says it only takes one generation to erase history.
Yeah.
Who is responsible for
Writing
erasing and
history.
creating history? The scribes.
Yeah, and it makes sense that her dad was a scribe, and that's why. And then like he got killed because he knew too much because he
Mm-hmm.
was part of that. And I think once things started really heating up with the wyvern and all of that outside, and that's why he gave Violet the storybook because he knew it was true and he wanted her to at least have some background on the fables and whatever. So she was at least a little bit prepared in his own way. That was the only way for him to like tell her without telling her. But
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, like the scribes, he saw the corruption. I don't think all of them know. I think there's probably tiers and ranks and like the lower ranks where like the deaf girl, I don't think like she necessarily,
Justinia.
yeah, Justinia, I don't think she necessarily like at maybe at that point was like contributing to it. However, I think as you get more into it, like I think it's filtered down, right? And it's passed down to
Mm-hmm.
like what actually is happening. And they're definitely corrupt and they're the ones writing the history. They're the ones like reporting all the yeah, so they definitely are super corrupt and definitely not all of them, but a lot of them are evil.
Oh, absolutely.
But there
I
could
have a
also be
feeling.
somebody's signet like repressing people too. Like I don't know. We don't know all the powers and all the signets.
Okay, and if you haven't realized this, a lot of the people that were like the rebels kids, we don't know a lot about their signets.
We don't.
We don't. So I just sent Valerie a theory, and I think the girl's name was Amanda. I think that was her name on TikTok.
Mm.
We don't talk about Imogen's signet quite enough.
No.
Imogen's signet is while Dane has the ability to retrieve recent memories, Imogen has the ability to erase recent memories.
I didn't even pick up on that. It was so like hidden.
Briefly noted.
Yeah. How
And they talk
cool.
about and how when they're all flying at one point, and they're just for flying practice,
Yeah.
and everyone's there except Imogen. Violet, and again, we're looking at it from Violet's point of view.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They go to an outpost. They don't say which outpost they went to, because again, it's Violet's point of view. And then Zayden has his pack on. It's packed when they start flying there. And then when he comes back, it's not nearly half as full. It's quite light. And again, Violet doesn't remember because just little things she's noting along the way.
Mm.
They go to what outpost are they going to? Why is Zayden's backpack suddenly half full and why is it not talked about? Was Imogen, was he there? Was she there and we're just letting her forget? Was Violet just for like Imogen erasing Violet's memories? If so, what other memories does like Imogen erase?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you think like how are they able to get away with all this, honestly? How
Mm-hmm.
are they able to basically I feel like hide in plain sight all over the place without getting caught? Like that is so important to note. And I
And
think an
like
important
it's
thing
the
for
opposite of
Kate,
Dane's
yeah. But
balance.
like
Nature loves balance.
who like how is this going to play into next book and of like I think if Imogen takes Violet's memories away somehow, there like if something happens to where they don't think that Violet's going to be able to or they don't want her to know that Brennan's alive. They talk about how this is risky, this is risky. I still don't understand that conversation so much. Like where they're like really trying to get like him
Well,
not to
Dane,
take her to get healed by Brennan. I don't know why such resistance. And so they might
I
erase her
think if anything,
memories.
Imogen will help get rid of Violet's memories solely because of Dane. Like if Violet goes back to Basgiath,
She's going to have to choose to get them erased.
that her brother is alive, that all of that is real.
What about her and Zayden? Will that get erased too?
I don't think it's only recent memories, so maybe not. And I wonder if Imogen has the
But
ability
will
not
he
to like
feel
erase.
like he's taking advantage of her? And will
Well,
he?
Violet would have to make that call. She would have to be like, no, erase my memories for me to go back to Basgiath. Like, I'm
No,
not
I
putting this at
agree. But
risk.
then how will that affect their relationship? And will Zayden forever, even if she says it's fine, it's fine, I think it'll put a wedge between them because he feels like it's just not right. And I think it's going to be very interesting dynamic between them. And they're going to struggle a lot if that happens.
Mm-hmm.
This needs to happen now because this is a good, like,
Plot
this is a
twist.
good plot um twist where now she doesn't remember. Yeah. And I think,
Can
but,
Imogen
but
alter memories or is it just erasing
Taylor,
memories?
she might be so mad at Zayden that she says, take it all.
She can't, Imogen can't though.
Why?
It's only recent memories she can get rid of.
Oh, but like, what's recent? It might be too late.
I don't know. I'm sure she can decide, but I don't think she wouldn't say take it all. I don't think she's going to say
We've
take
seen
it
that
all.
happen before.
We have seen that happen before. Vampire Diaries. Anyway,
I'm just saying, like,
did I
that
just
could happen. You probably spoiled it. Yeah, thank you. I was actually watching an episode today. I'm trying to get back into it because now that Eric's, I'm just gonna forget. Imogen's gonna come and erase my memories. It's fine.
damn it.
I don't know who. I don't know who. You didn't say who.
Oh, thank gosh.
You're
I
fine.
almost did.
I'm gonna assume someone, the main character. But anyway, I think it's going, but I again, whether it's her being erasing um Zayden and her, or if it's Zayden feeling like she deserves to know the truth and he can't go backwards and he can't just make like he can't play pretend with her. And he can't just like, I don't know. That would be an interesting thing. Like I can't like
I think if
If
Imogen
I
just
had a whole
erased her
huge
memories after the
lie from
wyvern.
Eric and then
Yeah.
he finds out and then that all just gets erased, I don't know how I could like I don't know how our dynamic would be after all of that.
Well, I think what would happen would be,
Knowing that if once she finds
well,
out,
Zayden's not
she
going back to the
doesn't want to be
college.
with him anymore. Like
Well,
at this
Zayden's not
point,
going back to the college.
we don't know.
I don't think he is. I think they're going to play it off as somehow Violet and Taryn were the lone survivors of this massive wyvern attack. So sad, devastating.
It won't be a wyvern
And
attack. It'll be a rebel attack. So they're going to take
that's
the
what I'm
wyvern
saying.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, the government knows the wyvern were there.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
know,
thing.
but she's not
But
going to because her memory is erased.
yeah, but she's going to be this lone survivor. And they all turned, like the rebels turned on Violet. And, whatever. That's what's going to get spun. They're going to say, oh, yeah, Violet was attacked. And Imogen's going to erase Violet's memories. So she's going to believe it. And she's going to know a little bit of it, but she's not going to know. Yes, you're raising your hand.
She's this is how it's going to work. I just know, Taylor. I'm sorry interrupting, but I just know this is going to affect their relationship because Imogen, we still don't know all of the specifics about her powers. She might be able to take certain pieces so that when Dane touches her, she still sees the rebels. She
Hmm.
still sees Zayden's betrayal.
That's why I
So,
said, can she alter memories?
right, but
Or is it just take it
so then
all?
she still remembers but she doesn't see all the rest of it. So she
Hmm.
still remembers that Zayden is like a traitor. She doesn't she's still on her government side. So it does put a rift between them. And she does not like Zayden because she only gets pulled out the mythical stuff. That's it.
But
And the
but
Brennan
then I
stuff.
wonder if she's going to have to go back. I think she's going to know something because she's only going back for Sloane. Only reason she'd go back is because she promised Liam she would take care and look out for his little sister. So
Yeah.
I think she would know something.
She is going to know
Dane
something,
can
but she's not
also
going to see the
only
mythical creatures.
no,
She's not going to see
but
Brennan.
yeah, Dane also can only do recent memories too. So I think Imogen's going to alter it enough that it's going to be, she's going to have something wiped. And then when Dane goes to look, he's gonna be like, yeah, she doesn't know anything. She's really on our side. And
Actually,
then
though, I
Violet's going to
think
be playing double agent.
Zayden has to come back
Why?
because everyone's life is on is on his head, and if he betrays, they're going to kill everyone. Remember, he has to protect the rebel children that are left.
Unless he's dead. I don't think they would kill them. I think they would just more or less be like, well, now we got rid of Zayden.
Maybe,
Maybe. They're just like, haha, use him as an
but that puts
example.
in a risky. I don't know if he would be. I don't know if he would be willing to risk it.
But then we have the separation of Taryn and Seagal, and I don't know if they
That
could
can't happen
survive it.
either.
So Zayden, I guess, would have to come back. And then maybe Zayden would have to say, like, oh, I turned on the rebels and they all rebelled against me and I killed them all.
I
And then
don't know.
everyone's going to be like, you killed Liam. And Zayden will be like, yeah, I killed Liam. And internally, he's going to be like, I did not kill my brother. This horrible lie. And then he's going to have to face Sloane, who's going to be like, you killed my brother.
Ah.
And
And
we are spiraling right
that's
now.
when Violet doesn't want to be like obviously turns to hate him because
He killed Liam.
she has an altered memory of that's how he died. It wasn't a wyvern. Yeah, we are spiraling a little bit, but
We are
see how many
spiraling.
places this can go. This story can go so many places. Are there
I'm so
any other
excited to read
theories
this
you wanted
book.
to talk about?
Yes, okay. Speaking on Violet's mom again and how we do not think she is inherently evil,
Yeah.
I think Violet's mom knew that she was special to some degree.
Okay.
And that's why she forced her to become a writer. I think she, being pregnant with her, knowing the sickness and all this kind of stuff, if we know, Mira did not have any faith in Violet, Dane did not have any faith in Violet. The two people that always were like, well, you got this, you know, yada, 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 was Violet's mom, who gave her like a nice little pep talk speech and then said, and I cannot be nice to you because I'm your mom, which she's not wrong.
And then
Like right
she
before
doesn't.
she went, nope, she doesn't treat her any different
I think
because she
people forget
knows
that. I think
if,
people forget the beginning part where she says that.
yeah, if she was nice to Violet in any sense of the way, people would be like, she's showing favoritism.
Yep.
She's getting special treatment. Like,
Yep.
and then Violet's time there would be harder than it already has to be
Yep.
because she of her name and she's a Sorengale and her sister and her mom and her brother and everyone.
Also, if she would have
So
stopped that storm,
I
I
think
see everyone in the
that's
comments.
why.
If she would have stopped that storm, it would have shown favoritism, hella favoritism if she stopped that storm.
Absolutely. And or she was
That's
making sure
cheating.
Violet was stronger.
It's cheating.
Like, well, she was making sure Violet was strong enough. And or maybe it was giving Violet the confidence she needed. Like her mom was like, Violet, I know you can do this.
Yeah.
And like, I'm gonna make
I don't think the
crossing the
storm proves us
parapet.
wrong whatsoever.
No.
But yeah, I just don't think that her mom like was purposely trying to like get her killed. I do think that you're right. Like she knew that Violet was strong enough to get through it, and also I think it's part of a bigger plan and plot for the fact that like I think she knows that the scribes are corrupt because of her husband.
And
So
she didn't want her daughter in there.
she didn't want her daughter in there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need November to come. I'm so ready. One, I have been in the least summery mood possible. Don't ask me why, but online, am I buying bathing suits or cute summer clothes? No. But am I buying sweaters? Yes. Am I buying like fall decor? Absolutely. I'm so ready for fall. And I don't know if it's mentally because, thank you, Rebecca Yaros. I
Yeah.
know fall means Iron Flame.
You get Iron Flame.
But I feel like that is why
There's
that
no
my brain
reason.
is so ready for fall because of this book.
Taylor, why else would her mother force
so
her
anti-scribe.
into something that she's not like really physically capable of? She got very lucky and her wits outsmarted everything. She did it because of a reason. Because she knew that was her best chance of like this
Survival.
huge thing that's coming with Brennan and everything else. And
because she knew
I
Violet
don't
would be
think
smart
Mira
enough to
knows
see through it.
because Mira argued against it.
But yeah, no, I don't think she knew Violet was going to be smart enough, just like her dad would figure it out.
Yeah.
And then be killed just like her dad. So at least this way,
Yeah.
if Violet dies, Violet died
100%.
by like, you know,
she was gonna find out.
Yeah.
That's good. Oh, that's good. That's a good one to maybe end on here. But you got anything else for anybody? What do you guys think's gonna happen in book 2? Because we've got a lot of good different plot points here that we could go a lot of ways. It'd be so cool if like we got anything right from this. But I really do feel strongly about her mom. I do. It just doesn't make sense.
Evil.
It doesn't make
not
sense.
Evil, not evil. Her mom's a morally gray character because at the end of the day, she was there when all of the parents did get sacrificed.
Yeah.
Like Zayden.
She's very morally
I wonder
gray.
if they, yeah, but we love morally gray. Rhysand is morally gray.
Most people
we
are.
Love Rhysand. And we don't hate Tamlin.
No, we don't.
Anyway,
No,
I was just quoting one of our titles of our podcast.
We don't.
Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I think her mom's morally gray because again, her mom did let all those adults die, but in the same regard, maybe they knew.
She saved the children.
Maybe they knew there was a sacrifice that had to be made for the greater good.
Yep.
For the rebellion to continue on, for them to stop attacking.
It was the next generation.
The next generation and the people that were at least left.
Mm-hmm.
Like they knew like, okay, we're going to have to die. So the government thinks like, oh, they've defeated us. When in reality, there's a whole underground camp and system and army getting ready.
Absolutely. And then they're going to try to burn it to the ground. This is giving me Hunger Games vibes. Burn it down is giving me Hunger Game vibes. That really is.
Man, it really is.
This is literally like Hunger Games meets Harry Potter meets Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Like they all had a baby. Mm-hmm. It's Fourth Wing.
It's Fourth Wing.
I'm just so. It deserves all the hype. And I've seen some people
it deserves so much hype.
Oh, I don't know if it's overhyped or whatever. No, it is not. It is good. I 10 out of 10 recommend. It'll change your life. I literally like got both of my coworkers on it. I was getting texts that like they were up until like 3 a.m, like reading it. Like my friend's husband's now reading it and he loves it too. He's like obsessed. He's like, I just got past threshing and I don't want to stop, but I have to go to bed. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great. And he's just like freaking out. And everyone loves it. Men, women, all of it. It's the perfect mix
Everyone
of
loves it.
it's the perfect mix. It's got action,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also got like underlying romance and all of this, and it's got government corruption. It's got political moves, and now the world's going to open up, and it's going to be even more fun. We get to find out about these other people living outside of the borders and like what are they all about, and these poor people, like they're Griffin riders, like
Is it Griffin or Gryphon?
Griffin, whatever. I was reading it Griffin, but I think the audiobook said Griffin. I don't know. Anyway, um let us know somewhere in the comments of some section what it's pronounced as. But now we get to find out about all these people and like what are like why don't they have like why, and also why are the dragons like only with the Basgiath people? Why did the dragons choose them? Is it only because of the location? How many dragons, like what are the dragons' opinions on it? Like do they just follow wherever their riders go? Like I don't know. I don't get it.
I think so. Everyone talks about Fourth Wing and how, like, traditionally in a book, like ACOTAR, your first book is a little slower and it's world building and
Yeah.
it's all that kind of stuff. Where Fourth Wing, we are opened up to sugar. Like, it is the day Violet is crossing the parapet. We are jumping right into action, like going from like we're
Yeah.
gonna digest and really comb through a book. Rebecca Yarros started the book on action.
Yeah.
Like there is
Right in
action
the
on the
middle.
first chapter. You skipped Violet's whole beginning. You get filled in along the way, but you are starting with like a running start.
It's great.
And I think people assume like, okay, so we're starting in the action. There was no world building as much as like another book. No, I think this book was the world building. There was so much world building interlaced in action and backstories
And the
and
little stuff at the
everything.
top, the little
Yes, that was the best ways to include the little world. Like Rebecca, you knocked it out of the park by doing that. And I still think book one was world building. Book two is world opening. We are cracking it open.
Yep.
And we are going to see more. And this is when the story is going to take off.
Yep.
Like, this is when it's going to really go and become something. So,
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
that's my ending note for the day.
Yeah.
I'm
Wonderful.
so dang excited. I think we did much better on this episode than the first Fourth Wing episode where we literally just had 1,000 thoughts going a million miles a minute.
I think they're both pretty damn great, right? Like in the
We
first
did spiral
episode,
in this episode.
in the first episode, you get really the meat and potatoes of the book. In this episode, you get like all of our theories and predictions for the next one. And we're really curious to see what you think is going to happen in Iron Flame, Burn It Down, by Rebecca Yarros. Please let us know in the comments on YouTube or pop on over to our Instagram or TikTok, and we'll be posting little clips from the podcast. You can comment all of your thoughts there or private message us as well. If you are enjoying our podcast, please like, subscribe, give us 5 stars. We really, really appreciate all the support and love. We love all of you guys so much, and we enjoy building this little Whimsy Gossip community, and it's just been so freaking exciting. And as we are nearing the end of the season, it's just crazy to say that, you know, we're almost done with our first season
of Whimsy Gossip, and this was a text exchange in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this was just a thought on March 12th. We came up with the idea. April 12th, we launched. And now here we are, you know, almost the end of June with 10 episodes out. I mean, it's just crazy. It is wonderful.
So wild. And you know what?
It's just getting started, just like Fourth Wing.
We got a really exciting giveaway coming up for the end of the season. So all of our Fourth Wing lovers and listeners and readers, make sure you follow us on Whimsy Gossip on TikTok and Instagram, because this giveaway is one you're not going to want to miss.
And we are going to possibly be linking up with another creator on this. More to follow.
More to follow. So anyway, Val, I love you. All of our listeners, I love you. All of our friends, we love you.
Yes. I love you too, Taylor, so freaking much.
so much. Okay.
All right.
Have a
Well, that's
wonderful day,
it.
guys, and we'll see you next week on another episode of Whimsy Gossip.
Whimsy Wednesdays. Bye.
Whimsy Wednesdays. Bye.